Hey, what's going on? This is Just Add Misplay. Welcome back to the channel. July 27th, Legend Story Studios just announced Tales of Aria as the new set, codenamed Kingdoms. Since LSS officially announced it, I think it's appropriate to do a prediction video. Before we start, I want to go over a little bit of the backstory for Aria. Just a real quick story, real brief. For many, many years, Aria was in a state of chaos. There was war all over the lands. So after many years of war, the wars finally end and Aria is at peace. Current day Aria is blooming with abundant resources and vibrant life. So the people of the land in Aria are actually very peaceful, and they believe in like a bartering system. So they don't really use like currency other than like products of their own for trade or work that they could offer rather than using currency. Take notes, kids. We might be diving into that a little bit later in the video. One of the big events on Aria is called the Everfest Carnival. This is a carnival full of oracles, seers, fortune tellers, live music, enchantresses, conjurers, a strongman competition. The Everfest Carnival is a giant traveling circus the size of a small town. And every year, this circus that just travels all over the land gets bigger and bigger. It's a constant expanding circus. How cool is that? So this carnival is going to lead me to my first prediction. In Tales of Aria, we're going to see more landmark cards. Kind of like the Great Library of Solana. I don't think they're going to be the rarity of Fabled. I think they're just going to be legendary probably at best. I don't think they would drop it down to Majestic. But I do think we're going to see another landmark card probably at legendary rarity. I also think maybe they'll do a landmark in future sets. So I don't think we're just going to see it here. I think we're going to see landmarks in Tales of Aria and then whatever set is after that. Now let's go back to talking about the flow. There is a massive mysterious energy on Aria surrounding their abundant resources and vibrant life all across Aria, and it ties everything on Aria together. And once again, this is called the flow. Aria and the flow are protected by magical barriers, which keep Aria safe and protected from the rest of the world. Recently, the barriers keeping Aria safe and protected have been fractured, revealing its existence to the rest of the world. So this can be a big problem for Aria because they're very welcoming to new outsiders as long as they have good intentions. Aria has a group of protectors that actually meet new travelers at the entrance to kind of figure out, I would go as far as even like interrogate them to see what their intentions are. Like, why are they trying to enter Aria? As long as they have good intentions, they let them through. I believe the reason for this is because for so many years, there was an ongoing war, or I guess there were multiple wars on Aria. You can't really blame them that once they're in a time of peace, they want to protect that peace, right? And they want to keep any aggressiveness outside of their capital. Real quick, there were guardians in Aria, and they would protect the lands during the war, and once the wars were over, the guardians didn't really have like a reason to be there anymore, so they kind of just all went their separate ways. But now, with the magic barriers being fractured, a lot of the guardians are starting to return to Aria. This enters my next prediction. So here's my second prediction. I believe we're going to see Jarl Vetridi, I'm not sure how to say it, Jarl. For those of you who don't know, Jarl is the guardian in the Mangle artwork, which is a guardian attack action from Crucible of War. Buckle up, we're going to dive deep into this one. I think when Aria was at peace, the guardians went their separate ways, right? And I think Jarl went out and he ventured into the world, and I think he somehow has been corrupted, or he's so far along the path of serving justice that maybe he's lost his sight. and he's sort of become like a chaotic good guardian, blinded by justice. And he's going around destroying anything, even with the slightest sense of injustice. Like if he has an interaction with someone and it doesn't follow what he believes in, if they don't line up and he thinks what he's doing is right, he's just destroying things. I think he's gone mad. And I also think he was one of the first guardians to return to Aria. And when he returned to Aria, I believe that he brought back with him currency from the other worlds, right? Remember, I told you, this is the part. So he's brought back otherworld currency and maybe even some of the laws to the worlds outside of Aria. And I think maybe he's trying to push these new laws and different ways of living onto the people of Aria. And by doing that, he's interfering with the flow of Aria, and it's causing harm to those magical barriers, and that's why they're becoming fractured. I think when he goes back to Aria, okay, the sentinels that are guarding Aria recognize him, and they're like, hey, you can come in, no problem. You know, you're a guardian, you protect the land. And he just skates by free, like no questions asked. And I think that because of this, he knows, like, it just makes sense. Like, he knows where Arya is located because he's been there, right? And he just comes back trying to push these new beliefs, these new laws, and anyone who has a problem with that gets in his way, he mangles them. I think we're going to see a new guardian, finally. Can you believe it? And he's going to be a shadow guardian, which leads me to my next prediction. I think we're going to see more light and shadow talents. That's going to help balance off the current light and shadow heroes that we have now. And they're going to introduce more light and shadow heroes in this set. Legend Story Studios has been working on this game for over 5 years. I think there's no need for them to rush to adding more talents than we already have, especially with so many new players entering the game right now. I think sticking with the light and shadow talents and expanding the current light and shadow card pool, it's going to help new players get familiar with the way these talent cards function. I think outside of the Blitz format, it's going to help keep options open, fresh, and continue to give love to all the heroes. So we currently have 2 light heroes and 2 shadow heroes, and Legend Story Studios doesn't want to stop at just 2 light or 2 shadow heroes, right? I think they're going to release a little bit more light and shadow heroes. What do you think? You think we're going to see some new talents, or do you think we're going to stick with the light and shadow path we got going? If we expand on the current light and shadow talents that we have, you could really dive deep into those talents, and everyone can really understand and fully grasp what light and shadow is really about. So remember, I told you Jarl is coming back to Aria. I also think he's going to bring with him currency from the outside worlds. I think we're going to see silver and gold be introduced to this set. Now, if they don't add both of them, I think they're going to add just one. And if that's the case, I think they're only going to add silver. It just makes more sense. I don't think they're going to jump straight to gold and skip silver. Unless, of course, they do decide to release silver and gold at the same time, which makes sense. But I think they're taking their time, and they're really not rushing through these sorts of big decisions. And they're keeping everything spicy. They're releasing just enough, and whatever they're doing it great, right? The game is definitely not rushed. Let's talk about some more classes. I predict we're going to see a samurai warrior class. That's right. We're going to see another warrior in Tales of Aria. What do you think about that? Do you hate it? Do you hate it? It's not a big deal. I'm just kidding. I think we're going to see like a samurai assassin. Maybe Jarl brought this assassin with him when he came back to Aria. I'm really sticking to my guns here with Jarl. If they do bring in an assassin class, A samurai assassin. How cool does that sound? I think they'll give it a legendary warrior helmet. If he's a samurai warrior, he's gonna get a legendary samurai helmet. But you know, that's kind of just a joke. All right, let's not get too serious here. Samurai assassin. Samurais have honor, so maybe it's not an assassin class. Maybe it's just a samurai class. But I think they're gonna have an assassin class, whether it's samurai or not. And I think it's gonna introduce a new strategy. I think we're gonna see an assassin class that attacks your deck instead of attacking your health. And that would be really cool. That would be like another way to play. And also it ties in Drone of Brutality gets banned. I mean, that would just destroy that whole strategy, right? But it also reintroduces like cards that may not have a purpose right now, like Remembrance. Or Remembrance has a purpose. But I mean, it's going to make cards like Remembrance be more of a staple in Constructed. It's just something to think about. I don't know. So here's the big spice. Everybody's talking about it. You ain't going to learn any new information right now. I think there's going to be a new Ranger. Oh yeah, we all got it. Okay. But let's dive deeper. I don't think it's just going to be a Ranger. I think they're going to introduce a legendary quiver. That's right. They're going to have a legendary equipment for Ranger that says if your main weapon is a bow, you can use this equipment as a free secondary weapon. And I think it's going to be a quiver, a legendary quiver for Ranger. And I think this quiver is going to have a very unique ability. I think it's going to say something along the lines of, you may place an arrow from your arsenal under this card. Kind of like when you charge your hero's soul and the card goes underneath your hero. I think there's going to be a quiver for Ranger where you can take your card from your arsenal, tuck it underneath your quiver, and any cards under your quiver will function as if it was inside of your arsenal. How about that for spice? I think that'd be great, and that'll also make Azalea a wee bit more playable. And my last prediction, it's not a big one, but I feel like maybe the Crucible of War set is a set that's getting ready for this war or whatever that's about to happen on Aria. Crucible of War is like, the whole set is based around heroes gearing up for battle, gearing up for war, and maybe on Aria we're about to see a war. So who knows? And maybe that ties in with the release of Unlimited Crucible of War. Who knows? I don't. These are just my guesses. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Sub if you want. Don't if you don't. Big whoop. That's it. That's all I got. Those are my predictions. I'm sure you have your own. I'm excited. I'm really excited about Tales of Aria. We'll see what's about to happen, right? We're all pumped. We're all excited. It's a good time to be playing Flesh and Blood. If you haven't started yet, start making those classic constructed decks. If you need some help, you can watch my Beholder Head video in the links in the description below. If you want to watch my head explain classic constructed to you, that's right. I went Beholder mood. I'll put a link in the description below, give you some tips. Thanks for watching. And it's going to be, maybe if it's not a samurai, I mean, samurais don't really have honor, right? I mean, whoopsies. How about that for spice? If you want to watch my head explain, and real quick, and never mind. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like my content and want to see more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You can also hit the like button. It goes a long way and it really helps out a lot. You can find me on Twitch at JustAddMisplay. Thanks again for your support, and we'll see you in the next video.